Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Nayasim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So, I came across a video of a white man who is talking about how we cannot continue to preach about class solidarity, and then you all are pissed and mad at the demographic that voted for this administration, right? And it was like, if your response is you guys got what you voted for, or you guys, are the ones that voted for him, that you are not doing okay. And racism is expensive. They voted for it. See, at this time, it is not about feelings or okay, how I feel is actually valid. How black people feel is actually valid, right? So you are saying that why punish the people that voted for instead of everybody coming together to look for a way out? Oga, if Oga means Mr. Man. Mr. Man, if you are looking for a way to get out of the mess you guys put yourselves into, please go get out of it and leave my people alone at this point in time. I am saying this because if black people decided to help them out, right, they will still do the same thing tomorrow. So what they are saying is that whether they fought for you or not, that you can also fight for them. Oga, Mr. Man, go fight for yourself. Let's get into this video.
We cannot keep preaching class solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that voted for Trump and is now being hurt by Trump. If your response to the situation with farmers right now is to go, haha, you're going to lose your farm. You voted for this. Racism is expensive. If that is our response, I think that we care more about our feelings than actually making a change. I understand that we have a lot of fear and anger and frustration that we want to point at someone. And I think this is coming from a place of people need to be punished because we're in a bad situation. So why not punish the people that voted for this? But also, there are a number of reasons why this is strategically a bad decision. These are the hard decisions that we've talked about that we have to be thinking about. Sometimes we're going to have to team up with people and fight for people that didn't fight for us, that voted against our rights. If our whole thing is class solidarity, it's not left versus right, it's top versus bottom. For one, who do you think these family farms are going to if they go under? It's not other family farms. It's not other working class people. It's huge conglomerate farms. It's private equity, the people that we're supposed to be fighting against. But also, if we want to win elections in the future, elections are fundamentally about numbers. We need numbers. We're going to have to bring people over, right? That means that we're going to have to bring people over that voted for the administration, not just the first time around, but the second time around. People are like, I didn't know what I was voting for, whether or not we believe them. We're going to have to team up with people that we may not want to team up with. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But we're going to have to do that if we want to win elections. If we keep saying it's about class solidarity and then we so quickly shit on people that are in our class, they're not going to come over to our side. We are feeding them to the wolves that we are supposed to be fighting against. And it just makes us look like hypocrites.
You know what bothers me the most about this video? Is that you have a platform of that size, reaching that many people, and spewing this type of bullshit. First of all, who the hell is we? Because you're not talking for me. When you're talking about trying to bring everybody in under the same damn tent, talking about feelings. Nobody gives a damn about feelings. Nobody talks about classism. This is about race, by the way, that you're choosing to ignore. It's about race. That's why the poorest white man standing next to the poorest black man still feels like he has privilege over the poorest black man. And that's why people voted for Trump the first time and the second time and are still supporting him, even though they're being negatively impacted. And yes, if you're a farmer who voted for Donald Trump, I'm glad this shit's happening to you. If you're a woman who voted for Donald Trump and now are having problems with having rights to your own bodies, yes, I'm happy this is happening to you. I'm glad Latinos who voted for Trump are being profiled. They were always going to vote for Donald Trump because their belief system is rooted in the preservation of white supremacy. How about you stop white-splaining your understanding of racist and start listening to black people for the first time in your life? How about we try and let black people lead this nation for the first time, since we're the only ones as a collective that seems to understand the assignment? There are more people who are eligible to vote who are not voting at all because they've lost confidence in either party on the right or the left. That's where we should be spending our energy, getting them involved in the voting process, working against people who are being suppressed from voting, not focusing on people that are lost cause. We're not throwing them to the wolves. They were raised by the wolves. And your instinctive nature to open arms and welcome back the people who have betrayed you is fitting. That comes from a place of privilege. You will always be okay no matter who wins or loses the election, because the whole country is built for you to land on your feet from pardoning to policy. You don't have nothing at all to risk. You're a white man in America. You have never lost an election.
I want to talk about the video that I made yesterday about the situation with farmers and the response from some people on the left. I want to apologize for communicating something that I didn't intend to, but I still did. It sounds like, from what I'm hearing from people in the comments and stitches, is that it sounded like what I was saying is that we should be standing in solidarity with racists and bigots and Yahtzees and people that are celebrating harm coming towards other people. And not for 1 second do I want to push that narrative. I think it's an incredibly harmful idea to be pushed. Unequivocally, fuck those people. Like, they should be held accountable, and we're not standing in solidarity with them just because they're part of our class. But I apologize for communicating that. That is the last thing that I want to be pushing. What I'm trying to talk about is, how do we effectively create change? I think it can be really easy, especially in online discourse, to paint people with broad brushstrokes and say that everyone that voted for Trump is a racist. Are there people that are racist and that's why they voted for Trump? 100%. But also, I know for a fact that there are a lot of people that voted for Trump for very complicated reasons that have nothing to do with racism, that have to do with the economy or religious ideas or war, etc. Is there a problem with a lot of those people being okay with dismissing casual racism or bigotry? Yeah, that needs to be addressed. Absolutely. But that's what I'm talking about, is how do we address that? If you followed me for any period of time, you know that, like, one of my core beliefs is that people can change. I believe that we can get through to people. I've seen so many people in my life change their ideas. I know a lot of you have changed your views over very important things as you've gotten older and had more experiences. So how do we effectively get through to people? I think that it can be easy for us to draw a line in the sand and say, we're going to punish you until you admit that what you're doing is wrong. But does that actually bring people over? Does that actually get people to come over and see our viewpoint and vote for the things that we care about, and also start to self-reflect and realize that some of the things that they believe are wrong? I don't think that it does. And that's what I'm talking about, the situation with the farmers, where if we paint farmers with broad brushstrokes and we say, all of you voted for Trump, all of you are racists, all of you deserve the pain that you are feeling from Trump bringing punishment down on the economy right now, I don't think that that helps us effectively create change. I think that we need to be talking about, when is punishment an appropriate response? Because it is at times, and people should be held accountable. But also, when do we need to maybe not punish the people that we want to punish because for the sake of, like, getting them to come over to our side and implement change? But again, I apologize for communicating that I think that we should be standing in solidarity with racists and bigots and terrible people. Those people should be held accountable. We cannot keep preaching class solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that voted for Trump and is now being hurt by Trump.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can absolutely shit on every other group of people that voted for Trump. Yes, we can. Because, and the problem is, a large portion of these same people voted for Trump simply out of racist, bigoted, hateful beliefs. Am I going to say it was all? No. At the end of the day, these people sided with the same group of people like the KKK. I told a Trump supporter, him being friends with Jeffrey Epstein alone is cause enough for him not to be president. And you know what they said? Have you ever had questionable friends? No, I never had PDFs as friends. The problem with these people is that they have to learn their lesson. They have to learn their lesson because if you try to bail them out, America's biggest issue is accountability. People think, oh, it's capitalism, it's this, it's that. It's accountability. And the same racist, bigoted people that set upon this nation and created multiple genocides, right? They have never been held accountable. Till this day, we are at the point where we're romanticizing racism and slavery. People are supporting the guy with the mustache from Germany. You know, that's what's happening in this country currently. So yes, we can shit on them. Because at the end of the day, racism is expensive. And I hope they learn their lesson.
Keep preaching class solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that voted for Trump?
Yes, we can. And do you want to know why we can? It's because they don't think they're in class solidarity with us. They think they're in class solidarity with the billionaires, and we are against the billionaires. So if they're with the billionaires and we're against the billionaires, we cannot be on the same side. Secondly, this video has the energy of the people who say that Orange Peel and Kamala would have been the same. That Orange Peel and Kamala would have achieved the exact amount of nothing, and that she didn't actually have anything to give us. That's what the energy of this video is that, like, you know, both are bad, so we just picked one of the bad ones, and now we're all on the same. But that's not true, because the people who voted for him voted directly against my right. Directly against my right. They voted so that I could no longer legally exist. Yes, I'm gonna shit on them. They deserve no good things. They deserve no grace. They deserve no nothing, because they had all of the information and chose to vote to be racist instead. They voted against their best self-interest. They voted against my best self-interest. They voted against so many other people's best self-interest. And we're just supposed to be like, you know, things happen. We gotta team up now. We're all together. No. No. The video also has the energy of a lot of Trump supporters who were like, it's just politics. The libs aren't gonna care just because of politics. It's just politics. Why are you acting like it's so much more than that? It's just politics. It's not really anything. You can't hate somebody because of politics. Except politics. The way that people do politics is the way that they're set up morally internally. So if the way morally internally you're voting with racism and hatred, yeah, I am gonna separate. Yeah, I'm gonna shit on, because you're voting to keep hatred in line. You're voting to keep brown people under your feet and to erase all gay people. Trans people shouldn't, like, you guys are voting against the self-interest of people that have nothing to do with you, and then you also voted to raise prices on everything. Thoughts and tariffs, you know? So, yes, we can preach class solidarity between those of us who believe we're in the same class. And we can also shit on everybody who voted for Orange Peel. Because everything that's happening right now is what they wanted to happen. They just didn't think it was going to affect them. And that's a reality that they need to live in so that they understand next time they vote, they aren't exempt. You cannot vote for hatred and then assume that you're not going to get any flack. I'm not even sorry about that. That's just... This was a kind of bad take, but I checked your comment section and they all agree that it's a bad take. So I hope this helps you not make another silly video like that. Because being on the side of the farmers who voted to get rid of all of the people who are doing farming, why would I care? Like, those are people who help you directly, and you voted to get them all deported. Why would I care about you, you know? You're crippling your own industry just for the sole purpose of being racist. Yes, it's going to affect everybody, because voting for him and his policies are going to affect everybody. But the fact that you didn't realize it was going to affect you doesn't give me empathy for it. Because all of these people voted for hatred, assuming that they would get away unscathed. And you need to be burning in the fire, like the rest of us, so that next time this choice comes around, you don't make it. Unfortunately, this is the only way that some people learn. It has to affect them for it to matter to them, for some stupid-ass reason. So again, this was a bad take, but I felt the need to say something.
We cannot keep preaching class solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that...
No hate to the original poster of this video, but I have to say no, you are absolutely wrong. What this is the equivalent to telling a former slave to side with their slave owners because we need to have solidarity against the upper class. And you might say that's a bit extreme, but it's not, because those slave owners that are the wealthier or the farmers that chose this, they didn't choose class solidarity by being poor. They chose class solidarity with the rich. They want to be rich. They want to have solidarity with those. And they have a slave labor, immigrants, that they chose to screw over. In the same way that you're asking now those people, those same people that were screwed over, to be okay with it and side with them, because we all have to kumbaya and come together for a better future. So when you make a video saying how we need to just embrace the people on the right, embrace those that voted once, twice, 3 times for him, and say, and they're like, oh, we didn't know. Well, that's bullshit. They knew, because he told them exactly what he was going to do. The entire administration has been saying exactly what they're going to do since day one. You see, this is the major difference between a liberal and a leftist. A liberal will say stuff like this: we just need to come together for our system to be better, and we can get better laws, and we can change things for the better if we all just vote together. I'm a leftist. I don't believe this system of capitalism is what is needed, because capitalism is built off of exploitation. It's built off of exploitation. And if the system needs to come down for that exploitation to end, then so fucking be it. But I'll be damned. I'll be damned. And I say this, all of you watching, I'm a fucking farmer. I myself am a fucking farmer. And will I undoubtedly have to suffer the repercussions of the way these asshole voted? Yes, yes. If I have to lose my property, if I have to lose what I have, yes. Because I'm not stupid enough to think that my own self-interests are more important than making this a place that my children can live and have health care and have friends that are from other countries. I'm not going to tell them to hold the hands of people that help to oppress them and tell them, you have to forgive them no matter what. It's going to be hard, but you have to. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. When you have a bully, you don't make friends with the bully. You stop the fucking bully. You don't become friends with them. You don't shake their hands. You don't just go over them and tell them it's okay, you're on our side now. That's not how that fucking works. You see, a key problem is that people don't have a rational understanding of how civil disobedience, whether it be violent or nonviolent, works. They don't have a rational understanding that it's a transitionary phase where you go from protesting all the way to violent disobedience. And there isn't just one stop. There's a lot of little stops that you have to take to get from one to the other. And right now, every single person that is saying, fuck the farmers that voted for Donald Trump, they are in the process of civil disobedience. They are. This is a part of the process for civil disobedience, because we are angry. We are angry and want a change. And a change is not going to come by joining hands with our oppressors and telling them it's okay, and that if we get together and vote, maybe it'll change. Well, guess what? Getting together and voting and protesting doesn't fucking work. History has proven that that is not the way to take down a dictatorial regime. It's not. It will never. Show me one instance, a single instance through all of human history where protesting and being nonviolent and following the rules made it so that a dictator gave up power. It never happened. It has never happened in all of time. So no. This message that he was giving, I'm sorry. I actually agree with 90% of the stuff that he normally says. He's a great person. You follow him, awesome. But this right here, he absolutely missed the mark beyond belief. Again, it's probably because he's a liberal and not a leftist. And I believe that a leftist is just a liberal that has actually learned history and learned how the system works. And one last thing, if you can't tell, I'm black. I'm a black farmer. Look at the numbers on the demographics of the number of black farmers from, I'd say, 1930 to 2025. Look at the demographic and the numbers of percentage of black farmers in this country, how far it's gone down. And ask yourself, how has it gone down? It's gone down because of things like this. It's gone down because of this. You understand? It's those same farmers that have been pushing black farmers out of the market entirely, destroying our land, taking it from us in every single way fucking possible. Those same farmers that own these big properties, that they probably got a lot of them from black farmers, pushed them out of their own homes. And you're asking black people to be okay with this and come together. I'm sorry, I can't even, this video wouldn't even be long enough to express to you how bad you missed the mark on this. I'm so sorry. No. This is a very privileged white person thing to say. It really is.
Keep preaching class solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that voted for Trump.
I really just want to address how harmful, how unfair, and how irresponsible this type of sentiment is. You want us to be in solidarity with people who intentionally caused harm to us, to cause harm to black people, indigenous people, and other people of color. And because they are now facing economic issues with it, we're expected to put our sentiments to the side in order to look out for them. This is a situation that continues to happen over and over again, and it is absolutely fucking tiring. You and other white people on the left continue to show that you have more grace and more understanding from white racists, and you are willing to look at that as opposed to the harm that is being done to us. I am absolutely brokenhearted because I have seen multiple black creators, specifically black women, deal with bullshit over and over again from white leftists, and you guys have not let up. But the moment you see farmers actually losing out on cash crops, not being able to feed themselves, not because of the loss of food, but because of the loss of income, you are more willing to see that than you are willing to see us. And it's stuff like that. It is overlooking race. It is overlooking the harms that racism does. That is the reason why there will be no solidarity.
We cannot keep preaching class solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that...
A wise mutual of mine, who I am not tagging intentionally because she already deals with enough bullshit from people on the left and the right due to their racism, said something that I will never forget. You cannot have a liberation movement and be racist at the same time. As I said in your comment section, I will never want any American to lose their livelihood due to whatever bullshit this is. But at the same time, you have to understand that not every American harmed by a vote from the right or a vote from the left or a lack of vote from the left will feel the same fucking way. Since you believe that it's not left or right, but top or bottom, didn't the bottom left shit on the Democratic Party, rightfully, of course, for looking to the right? But here you are in this position. The country is going to hell in a handbasket. And what are you doing? You're looking to the right instead of looking at the people who've been warning you for centuries, for decades, that these policies would ultimately hurt you in the long run. Until you realize that you have a white supremacy problem on the left and on the right, you will continue to be on the bottom and dragging everybody else down with you. But let's say my mutual is wrong and you can win a liberation movement and be racist at the same time. All you're going to do is you're going to bring those people over from the right to win your class war, and people of color, the vulnerable, the disabled, the people who need the most help are still going to be begging for their humanity, their dignity, and everything else from you now. You are the new problem. You are the new government that is holding vulnerable people down, marginalized people down. You're not going to contend with your misogyny. You're not going to contend with your homophobia. You're not going to contend with your racism. You're not going to contend with any of that because you won the class struggle. You won, right? And now you're going to have to govern with other racists making concessions that harm vulnerable Americans rather than contending with your bigotry, contending with your racism, and winning and creating a new society, the one that we want, the one that is all-inclusive. None of the white people that you were trying to reach are ready to hear this. And do you want to know why? Because your video wasn't ratioed to fucking hell like it should have been. Because social media has rewarded you you're going to think you're right. And sadly, that sounds about white.
Solidarity and then shitting on every demographic that voted for Trump and is now being hurt.
No. They get to be held accountable. They get to experience the find out portion of fuck around and find out. Because if we don't hold them accountable, then we're being the hypocrites. We sit here and we preach accountability for everyone, including ourselves. But when the opportunity comes, we give people a pass because maybe they just didn't know better. No, they knew better. These are the same people saying that empathy's woke, and now they're asking us to have empathy. These are the same people who said that government handouts and subsidies were socialism, and now that U.S. aid's gone, they're hurting because that was one of their biggest customers. No, they get to find out. Now that doesn't mean that we're not going to extend our hand. It just means that while we're helping them up, we make sure that we serve them a big old side of crow.
From this video, and I am going to say this. I love the fact that my people are always standing on business. That is telling you, this is what we want, this is not what we want. At this point in time, we don't want this. It's either you listen or you don't listen. Whichever one, let it be. Let me tell you something. White people are always wanting solidarity or wanting pity party when they are the one in that mess they created. Let me tell you this. I am saying this with my full chest. If this had been my own people that had done something like this, probably voted the wrong way, let me tell you something, nobody will ever come to your rescue. They have never also come to your rescue. So now, white farmers, most especially, are the one having it rough. That doesn't mean that black farmers are not, but black farmers never had handout, right? They never had any handout. When it is good or bad, they soak it all in and they are doing their job. You guys can as well soak it in. Because if there is any group that, or any community or state that voted massively, was that same state. So why do black people have to be pushed into everything that you messed up? See, I don't know if people, I think as we keep growing, you know, when you pass 18 years, 19 years, 20, I think people should always consider being accountable for the mess they put themselves in. Because you don't mess up and you want me to be part of the people that will clear your mess. Not like I am going to be appreciated. You all know how it goes already. In the end, it will be like, I mean, we did it for all of us. It is not that they know that a party does not matter. I am not into party and all that. Or whether you are a liberal or it doesn't matter. That what they need now is how to see. Let me tell you something. This government is not deaf. The head of the country is also not deaf, right? All the cries you guys are crying, I am sure he's hearing them. My cry will not sound anyhow to him. If he has not answered your cry, chill, he might answer it. But trying to make me come and be the town crier, you guys should go and be the town crier first and see how it goes. Enough of all this disrespects and all the time looking for a way to push black people into. Your message was nowhere past. It was nowhere past. And see, you guys should, when you F up, go treat your F up. Stop looking for people to drag into the same F up you F'd. It's no longer. This farmer's story has lingered for so long. And you and I know that you all are the cause of all the problems. Even if I help you scream today, I mean, so that things get better, tomorrow you people will still do the same thing that I helped you out in, because black people they've been helping you people out. Get out of most mess you put yourself into. And then when it gets better, the next, you do the same thing. That's why they say black people will always save democracy. Not this year. Not until you guys decide that it's time for us to start doing the right thing. Because this man was very vocal about his plans. You all saw it. Don't pretend like you did not see it. You ought to stop acting dumb, because sometimes when you act dumb, it aggravates. Bye for now.